Okay, before we really get into this, I need to clarify something. To me, the point of all this simplifying and decluttering and all that, is not just to have a clean and simple home. The point of all this, the point of simplifying, decluttering, the journey towards family minimalism, the point of that is to figure out how to create and maintain space in your home and in your life to build relationships with the people in your home. If you've been here before, then you've probably heard me say something like this, but it bears repeating that family minimalism can, and I think it should be, a tool for investing in the relationships in your home. It should not cause stress. It should not put strain on the way you interact with your family. So when we think about introducing family minimalism to children, the thing that I have found to be the most true and the most important is that real work is the work I do inside myself to open my mind, get my mind and heart and all that in balance and in line, so that I am able to take advantage of the opportunities family minimalism offers me to really get to know my kids and to really allow them to get to know me and to just build stronger, more meaningful relationships. So welcome to our simplified home with me, Candace. If you don't already know, then my husband Abdel and I have 3 kids, a 9.5-year-old, 6.5, and 2.5-year-old. And I stand before you as someone, unfortunately, who has messed this up in the past, who has tried to use guilt and shame and punishment and all those terrible things as ways to encourage children to invest in this organizational system that I like. The greatest blessing in life is that I got to wake up another day and reflect on what I was doing and change course. So I want to share with you some of the ways that I have been able to change my thinking to really leave space for the things I care about and to be able to use family minimalism to accomplish the stuff that I want for me and my family. So before we get to that, definitely subscribe. It lets me know that you're out there and that we are really in conversation with each other, and then we can just stay in touch a little bit better. Okay, so first question or thing that always comes up when people talk about, introducing minimalism to kids is whether or not you should literally involve them in this process. Should they be part of the work to choose what gets to stay in the home and what has to go? I mean, the short answer is yes. Yes. They should. If you are considering, wait until they're at their friend's house, wait until they go to school, maybe when they spend the night at grandma's house, you're going to get a lot of decluttering done. You're going to clean out their room, clean out their playroom. I encourage you to reject that idea, to push that idea to the side and think a little bit differently about this opportunity. Remember, the point of this, at least to me, is to give you an opportunity and the space to invest in the relationship. So, okay, imagine you and your child or you and your children standing in the doorway to their room or the playroom or the corner of the living room where their stuff is, wherever it is that they can just be themselves in your home. And the space is a mess. There's clothes everywhere, there's papers from school, there's books, there's dishes. You might not have to imagine this. Maybe you have actually seen this. I have actually seen this. In the past, in that moment, I have thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm failing at this. To let my home get this way, to let my child think that this was okay to live like this. I've really thought this. That, okay, the biggest project we have now is we have to clean this up. That kind of internal dialogue sets me and my child on a particular journey that I will say is not always helpful and is not always the smoothest, most focused ride. When I'm at my best, okay, and I'm going to acknowledge that I'm not always at my best, okay, but when I'm at my best, me and my child can be standing in that doorway and I can pause and think, this is an opportunity to invest in the relationship with this person standing next to me. This is a chance for me to get to know my child in a particular way, in a way that I might not see in other activities that we do. that's really worth investing in. And that moment is really worth trying to figure out how the two of you can have that. But this brings me to my next point. Decluttering with children will be slower than decluttering without them. Yes, it is faster when you do it by yourself. And in the past, I have thought, oh, I just want to get this done, so I'm just going to do it. And that still happens, and that will continue to happen because the reality of life. But we're just talking about these moments when the stars align and we are all at our best. Okay? Let's acknowledge that the decluttering process is slower with children, but it is much more meaningful. When we pursue this minimalism with our children by our side, we leave room for them to ask questions. There is space for conversation. There is space for reflection together. Okay, but I have to acknowledge, of course, that when there is a very difficult task in front of you, and there is also room for conversation and lots of decision making together, sometimes the conversations can get a little heated. Sometimes they can get a little heated. And in those moments, this brings me to my next and final point. In those moments, when I'm at my best, I can remind myself that me and my children are on the same team. It is me and them managing the stuff. It is not them managing their own stuff versus me. We are on the same team. The stuff is what we're working on together. Yes, but as long as I keep in mind that we are on the same team, and that success means that we are all going to walk out of this room feeling all right, then that guides us through work that we can all feel good about. Or pursuing family minimalism together is really work that I have to do inside, and that's kind of the make or break thing. Actually choosing which items go and like which items can stay and how should we organize your toy selection, all this kind of the logistical detailed stuff. I feel like it can all be figured out in a peaceful way if my mind is right. So those are the three things that I really try to tell myself during this process. And I encourage you to think about how you can use some of those ideas, or just what are the questions or the kind of the mind switches that you could do to set yourselves up for success. Remembering that family minimalism is a tool. It is not the end goal. It is a tool for creating space, for maintaining space, to build healthy relationships between you and the family members in your home. So, if you're working on any kind of decluttering projects this week, maybe you and your kids, you and your partner, you and whoever else you share your home with, I wish you great luck. I know sometimes this can be very stressful. Sometimes it can be difficult, but it can also be wonderful and really meaningful. So I hope that for you. Good luck. In the meantime, let's plan to meet here again in our simplified home with me, Candace, really soon, so we can continue to talk about family minimalism and simplifying and all that kind of cool stuff. Bye.